or in the
Now, I don't know if y'all
audience,
saw this.
this woman likes to talk bad about men, and I'm not gonna like defend men here. I'm just gonna say that this woman is probably a shill. I don't know what her deal is, but even if she isn't a shill, she's like a man hater, you know. And it's very toxic the way men and women often talk about each other. Like I know I did say some pretty strong comments not too long ago about women, and it got some people mad and stuff, right? But I just want to say, like, I love women, you know, and I think women are awesome, you know. And I don't like the way this woman is talking about women. It's like, anyway, let's listen to what she's saying, and then we'll talk about it. Okay.
This young lady's video, I was shown it pretty early. Now, I don't know if y'all saw this young lady's video. I was shown it pretty early by TikTok. I saved it a couple days ago, but apparently it's gone pretty viral since, and she's made an update since. In the original video, it was this timeline that she made out of her own social media clips talking about this man, and obviously she starts out very happy and enamored with him. She talks about how she'd never been loved like that. It seems all really, really good up until the very last clip in which she's crying and explaining that they broke up. In her update, she also explains that she moved across the country for him. She was okay with him taking on like a difficult education opportunity. I think he's trying to become a doctor or something like that. Her thesis is that sometimes love just isn't enough. And I'm here to tell you that thesis is dead wrong. You need to throw love out the window when you're dealing with men. And I'm so serious. Not for any reason other than
Throw love out the window when you're dealing with men. Like why just don't even try to deal with men then. Just go away. You know what I mean? What she's basically saying is, look, women, you gotta protect your interests. You gotta be like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man. Anyway, I'm not I get it, you know, because most men nowadays are completely untrustworthy and can't be relied on to make sacrifices for the family that we might have relied on men to do in the past. So women are kind of in a rough situation. But I think women are always women. Like I know the sort of stereotype is that women are the ones who are like all emotional in relationships, and it's men that are just cold, emotionless, and whatever, right? But it's actually not the case. It's not the case, and there's science to back this up that women tend to be the ones that are more reserved emotionally because women just have higher emotional intelligence. So they're not the ones that get into a relationship and fall in love right away, and then they get all like, you know, destroyed when it breaks up. Actually, usually they're the ones that are smarter about it and more emotionally like kind of stable after a breakup and stuff, you know. But what happens is like, um, what was my point here? Just that it's actually men that end up falling in love and getting their heart broken and stuff. In the most cases, you know, what women usually what usually happens with women when they get hurt like this is they end up they fall hard for somebody who's really like kind of out of their league, and then the guy's just using them, and so then they end up like this, and then they become these cold. Anyway, maybe I'm just reading too much into this, but I'm just saying, women generally have higher emotional intelligence, and they're less likely to be hurt by breakups and stuff than men. Okay. Anyway, what am I doing here? Sorry.
then they did that with us a long time period. Dead wrong. You need to throw love out the window when you're dealing with men. And I'm so serious. Not for any reason other than they did that with us a long time ago. Men have
Yeah, like this is the other thing. So, and I understand that I just kind of made some certain generalizations about women and men and stuff just now. So, don't get me wrong when I say what I'm about to say. What I was just telling you was certain scientific things that we've actually determined. Like there's actual data about this, right? What she's saying is that men in general have completely have they've just like they don't care about love when they talk to women and stuff. That's not a thing that they care about. And so women need to do that. Women need to adopt that attitude if they want to come out on top in these kind of interactions with men, you know?
Other than they did that with us a long time ago. Men have never centered women. Men have never cared about the love of women. Okay. Men care about women's invisible labor, about the status that women bring them, and they care about their like legacy or whatever. So you bearing their children.
Once again, this, you know what it is? You know what it is? These type of women, right? When they talk about quote unquote men, right? This is what it is. I don't know her story, right? But for the most part, I'm pretty sure this is what goes on. These women, they get into relationships with, once again, like I'm saying to you, men that are out of their league, okay? That are just using them. And they think that that's what all men are like, you know, because this is what happens, because these certain men that are just completely out of the league of most women like this, right? They just use them for sex and they just dump them. And then they think, then these type of women think that all men are like that, right? And they just write off the whole male part of the species. They just say, "Oh, we'll just forget men. They're all wicked." No, it's because you chase after these wicked men. You don't even have a proper understanding of what you want in a relationship or whatever. You just chase after these men, then they dump you because they don't care about you, and then you blame all men for that. And then there's all these men who aren't like that, right? Who can't, like, you know, because people like you, that you think you're better than them or something. You won't even go out with them and stuff. Anyway, it's so dumb. Anyway, whatever.
Ironically, that's the one they're the least picky about. But the other two is definitely how men think, and it's definitely what happened here. Not only have I seen this happen,
See, I would say it's definitely how men think. Definitely how men think. No, it's not. There's plenty of men that don't think like that. What are you talking about? How dare you generalize all men like that? You know? How dare you? How dare you? You got 27,000 followers. You're gonna tell them that about all men? If I said to say that about all women, if I said to say all women just want to take your money, guys. Forget about the women. Don't even try to have a relationship with women. They don't care about love. Women don't care about love. All they care about is your money. Just use them for sex and then leave them. That's what if I said that. I mean, I guess there are people that say that, right? But I don't know. Anyway, people like that are considered to be like red pill idiots or like Andrew Tate retards. You know, they're not considered to be part of polite society. In polite society, we're not allowed to say that, but she is. You know, she's allowed to say that. She's allowed to say that and then go to like some like whatever. Anyway, whatever.
And it's definitely what happened here. Not only have I seen this happen 1,000 times on the internet, I've also witnessed it happen in real life. The reason I say you need to.
Who cares? If you like, look again, it's like this kind of confirmation bias, right? Like she thinks that that's how men are. So then she sees it 1,000 times on the internet. She's been trolling on the net. She's like just an internet nerd, like trolling around trying to find these stupid stories. And then she found this way. She put it in her bookmark, and then somebody else it went viral. Now she's reporting on it. This is what she does. And then she's like, what she said?
How men think, and it's definitely what happened here. Not only have I seen this happen 1,000 times on the internet, I've also witnessed it happen in real life. Reason I
it probably happened to her or whatever, man. Who cares? Like, it's not like, look, you're dumb enough to let some man do that to you, right? And then you try to blame all men for that. And you try to tell other women to treat all men like garbage because of what happened to you. It's ridiculous, man. Anyway, look, I'm not hating on the women, by the way. Women, you can do it. All right. You can find a good man. They're out there, okay? Don't try to find a man that like that he's like some dream guy that you dreamed of in a movie. All right, it's not like that. It's real life. Okay, it's not a Hollywood movie. All right, that's how you need to think about this. Men, same thing. Don't try to find these women that are just completely out of your league and completely like not your looks match or whatever. Just try to find somebody like around your, you know. Don't try to be all like special and super You get the best, you get the perfect woman or whatever. You know what I mean? Don't try to
This
do that.
happened 1,000 times on the internet. I've also witnessed it happen in real life. The reason I say you need to throw love out the window when dealing with men is because 99% of the time, men are not coming to you operating on that wavelength. Let me explain. When you think of love as a woman, you automatically, probably the first thing
Wait, what? What'd
that
she
comes
say?
to
Sorry.
mind when you think of operating on that window when dealing with men is because 99% of the time, men are not coming to you operating on that wavelength. Let me
What wavelength? What wavelength?
But the other two is definitely how men think, and it's definitely they care about their like legacy or whatever. So you bearing their children. Ironically, that's the one they're the least picky of. Women
Sorry,
a
I'm
long
sorry.
time ago.
I'm sorry.
Men have never centered women. Men have never cared about the love of women. Okay. Men care about women's invisible labor, about the status that women bring them, and they care about their like legacy or whatever. So you
Look at this. Look at this blatant sexism. Blatant. Okay. If I sit here and say to you, women don't care about men. They don't care about love. All they care about is money. All they want is your money, guys. Like, just treat them like garbage. Don't try to marry them. They don't love you, right? Like, is that okay? Like, it's, I don't know. I guess there are people who get away with saying stuff like this, but like, it's wicked, man. Any man who says that to you, gentlemen, that person is bad. Don't listen to them, okay? And any woman who says this to you, they're just literally just trying to say all men. Men have never cared about women. They never centered women. They never cared about the love of a woman or anything. It's so utterly dumb, man. You know what I mean? Imagine all the like beautiful love poems and everything it's so dumb. This is so utterly dumb. Anyway, whatever.
Bearing their children. Ironically, that's the one they're the least picky about, but the other two is definitely how men think, and it's definitely what happened here. Not only have I seen this happen 1,000 times on the internet, I've also witnessed it happen in real life. The reason I say you need to throw love out the window when dealing with men is because 99% of the time, men are not coming to you operating on that wavelength. Let me explain. When you think of love as a woman, you automatically, probably the first thing that comes to mind when you think of love is self-sacrifice. For men,
once again, this is just complete nonsense. All right. Now, first of all, that's what love is. All right. That's what love is. As we understand from the Bible, love is self sacrifice. You know, Jesus demonstrated his love for us by dying on the cross. Right. This is what love is. All right. And everybody should kind of know that. I guess some people would think it's like this feeling or whatever, but we should understand, even if you like, as long as you're not like a little kid, like as a mature adult, you should kind of understand. Obviously, the feeling is not all it is, right? It's more than that. Over time, when you're married to somebody for 20 years, you're not going to have the same feeling you did when you first fell in love with them, right? So you need to kind of understand that before you get into a marriage and understand that there's going to be issues with those kind of feelings and stuff, and that you have to kind of, it's about like putting that person before yourself and sacrificing for that person. That's what a marriage is, and we understand that from the Bible. The unfortunate thing for people like this is they think that they can like figure out what a marriage is or what a relationship is or what love is without the Bible, without God, and that's why they're just blind. You know, they'll always be blind. And it's unfortunate that she fell into this particular trap of man hating, you know? It's very sad for her. But just anyone who thinks that they can determine these kind of truths about life, like love, marriage, the nature of marriage, the nature of human relationships, or anything like that. If you think you can determine those things without the Bible, without God, you're mistaken and you will not succeed. All right, that's just how it works, and so that's what she is. And so this is just one of the many manifestations of that kind of error.
You think of love as a woman, you automatically, probably the first thing that comes to mind when you think of love is self-sacrifice. For men, I promise you, I guarantee you, and if men were being honest with themselves, they would confirm this too. When they think of love, they think of it in terms of something they receive. And there's the fundamental difference. Women are primed and expect to give in a relationship. Women are primed.
This is another nonsense thing. It's just nonsense. It's just that she hates men. This is what this channel is. She hates men, and she's using the what she's trying to pretend that she's giving like some kind of advice to women, as if like she's on the side of the women, and that's why she's doing this. But really what it is she hates men. She's probably just some bitter, lonely cat lady woman or whatever. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe she's married with kids. Who knows? I don't even know. Right? But her problem is that she hates men. That's her problem. And literally, she's literally proven this by her statements in this video. She is a man-hating woman. And she's saying this stuff to all these other women, not because she wants to help women, but because she wants to spread her hatred to cause other women to have equally black hearts of hatred that she has, but most women fortunately are not like this, so praise the Lord.
Primed to view love as self-sacrificial, whereas men are primed to take and receive in a relationship, and they tend to view love as at best transactional, but at worst most men view it as something that they're entitled to, and not just.
So what is she trying to say? So women don't think of a relationship. Like, I guess what she's saying is that men think of it as transactional, and women only just want to sacrifice for the man. That's all they think of when they love somebody. That's all they think of is just sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. That's all they can think of. It's not true. Okay, it's simply not the case. All right, women expect things in a relationship. They expect many things. All right. I mean, I haven't even had that many deep relationships, but in the few relationships I've had that kind of lasted more than a couple of years, they expect many, many things. Okay, it's absolutely not the case that women all they want to do is sacrifice for you. No, they want to be taken out. They want everything paid for. They want birthday gifts. They want Christmas gifts. They want all these things. They want Valentine's Day gifts. If you don't even take them out enough and entertain them enough, I mean, this is when I was dating. Maybe it's different now. I don't really know, but like, if you don't even take them out enough and entertain them enough, if you're too boring, that's enough for you to be okay. We can't, like the idea that women all they care about is sacrificing for the man or something, or I guess that's what she's trying to say. It's ridiculous, man. But there is something to what Paradox was saying about how they go for these like men that are out of their league and then they just get rocked out.
Just the idea of love, the way men are primed to take and receive.
Yeah, well, okay, that's true too. That's true too. So what I was just saying about women, and you know what, I'm like making the same mistake she's making, so I don't want to do that. But yes, Caco's right. Like what I was talking about women that in my past, that was before I became a Christian, before I had any of those kind of values. Right? So that's also partly why I was with those type of women, As a Christian, I assume we're talking about Christianity and how to live as a Christian, right? So as a Christian, you're looking for someone you can marry, and you're looking and when you get married, you're going to sacrifice for them. You're going to put their interests ahead of yours. As a man, you're going to give your life for them. As a woman, you're going to, submit to him. That's how it works, right? That's how marriage works in our Christian worldview. And so it's a total different scheme than what she's thinking of. She's trying to think of like how can a woman set herself up to have a nice life as a wife and enjoy that life. But as a Christian, you're not thinking about that. Your enjoyment is not a concern, is not the main concern anyway. It's a concern, but it's not the major one. The major one is pleasing God, doing what God wants and glorifying him. Right? So it's just that we have totally different values in this person and totally different goals and aims, right? But I just want to show you this because I wanted to show you like how far the the sort of the dynamic between men and women has fallen from the days of the Bible to the days now, you know.
And they tend to view love as at best transactional, but at worst
The real truth, the BP exists. Wait, sorry. The BP exists because of stats and dating based on multiple factors like height and race. The face can single-handedly determine your work life, dating life, how you get treated by people. Well, not single-handedly. That's the thing about the black pill. They take it too far, bro. I mean, honestly, I get what you're saying, Black Paradox. About the black pill, for anyone who didn't know, it's like some people online, they talk about how like it's all about your looks, and so it's like your looks not just even in your dating life, but also in your job life and all these other things. And there's some evidence for that, right? That good looking people do better in life and etc. But I mean, I think they just take it too far. Like when they say stuff like this, your face can single-handedly determine your work life, dating life, and how you get treated by people. Single-handedly implies that there's no other factors involved, you know? That's why it's kind of weird. And also a lot of their data isn't that strong. Like they use the data that's not that if you really look at those studies that they look at and stuff like that, like the guys like Rehab Room and people like that, they don't examine those studies very carefully, you know? And they also they'll look at like a study of people on dating apps, right? So people have a certain behavior on a dating app, you know, but especially with women, right? Like the behavior of women among when they actually meet men and actually can interact with them in real life is very different. And they're not, and like so, a guy who's really good looking in a real life encounter with a woman, if it lasts long enough, he could end up doing stuff that makes her not like him anymore, you know. But and I'm not saying it's probably obviously harder for him to do that than for an ugly guy, right? But I'm saying there's like an ugly guy can get a good looking girl if they get a chance to actually interact and talk and get to know each other, because women have a different way of being attracted to men. It's not all like men are more visual and women are more like emotional and stuff, you know? But the problem is that nowadays it's very difficult for men and women to interact that way. That's why all the online dating has led to this sort of difficult way of like it's difficult for men to meet women now, right? Because you just don't have it's not like it used to be where everything's dating online and all this stuff. It's just not like it was back in the day, you know? That's what it is.
Most men view it as something that they're entitled to, and not just the idea of love, the way that most men will wield it with you when they're, especially when they're trying to trap you into one of these like parasitic relationships that they want to have with you. They'll often use a lot of words to describe it without really following up with any actions. Whereas they expect the exact opposite of women. They expect women to just silently bring a lot of things to the table that they themselves are not willing to bring. In our society, we very dismiss.
This is so ridiculous. Like, look, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, I guess this is what happened. Once again, she's doing this. She's acting like this, right? She's doing all this because anyway, I don't know what's going on. Like this woman, this particular woman in this story, right? She fell in love with this guy. They moved to some other place, and then he dumped her and he married some other better looking woman or something like that. That's something like that happened here. Okay. And then now she's stuck and her life sucks, or she's mad or whatever. She made a TikTok about it. That one case doesn't prove anything generally about men, generally, right? And for her, for this other like wicked woman to come and take this story and turn it into like this whole thing about how all men are like this, it's completely absurd, you know? But maybe women like this should stop trying to meet like the doctor or that super handsome doctor with like like everything going on perfectly, and he has a great car and all this stuff. Maybe just like take it down a notch. You're not that. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about that. But the fact is, look, this is ridiculous.
Permissively call this a woman's touch, but it basically means that men expect you, if you are going to come into their life and share space with them, that you are going to be useful in lots of ways. When they
Women don't expect that. Women don't expect that. Women don't expect that men should be useful. It's so utterly ridiculous. If a man isn't useful, he's nothing in this world. Nothing. He's like literally garbage. Everyone hates him. That's what happens in this world, okay? If you were a man who you don't have any kind of any talents or any ability to earn money or whatever, if you don't have those things that people need or anything, you're garbage. Nobody cares about you. If you died, nobody cares. That's the reality of our life, okay? For women, that's not like that. And even an ugly woman who has no talent whatsoever and she's just annoying and smells bad, she can still get a man. And the man will take care of her and everything. That's how this world is. This is not a world where men just get everything handed to them. That's not how this works. Okay? So for women to talk like this, as if she doesn't expect any man that this woman goes for has to have a bunch of things, or she won't even consider him. She won't even consider he's like subhuman to this person. To a person like this, right? If a man doesn't have a certain like income, certain height, certain good looking level, he is a subhuman animal, and she won't even talk to him. You know what I'm saying? This is the reality. This is the reality. And she wants to act like this, like, oh, women are the ones who are always giving and giving and giving, and it's only men. No, I'm not trying to say men are perfect either. Believe me, women, I'm not trying to say that. I was just saying that for someone to make this kind of claims as if that's the way it works, completely absurd.
they think of love on the other end, like what's expected of them as far as that is just to receive it. They consider themselves a good guy because they're
This
not
is true.
beating you
This
or
is
cheating on you.
this is Kako is true. What Kako is saying is absolutely 100% true.
Abusing you in some other way. Honestly, they view themselves as a good guy even when they are doing those things. It's more about the narrative that they tell themselves and about the value that they tell themselves that they bring to your life. Now, when it comes to that value, you need to understand once again that men view value and worth very differently than you. Men are hierarchical creatures. They view the world in terms of hierarchy and where
Hierarchical. Okay, that's how that word is pronounced. Yes, absolutely true that men, certainly almost always in groups of men, they develop that sort of pecking order of power relations. All right. And women are more generally tend to be more kind of grouping on the same level and being like kind of like a, I don't know. Anyway, that's somewhat demonstrable, but that's not like it's not as if every man is like that, and that's like so you can just generalize all men like that. There's some evidence that men tend to have that kind of hierarchical set up in groups of men. You know, they don't think of women like that. I don't like this is just dumb on every level. Okay, I guess what she's gonna say is that anyway. Let's hear what she says.
men are hierarchical creatures. They view the world in terms of hierarchy and where they fit into it. So, a lot of times when a man starts to get himself together, starts getting his life together, he will often go for the best available to him. And if a man is like love bombing you like this, just know that yes, you are right now his best available. Now, if that man has plans to like
This is what they say. Look, this is the thing. I don't know for women out there. If it is, I don't have too many women listening to me. I know Crafty Val's here. Thank you. Anyway, look. Now what she's trying to say, right, is that men are just with you until they find something better, and then they're gonna move on, right? Which is exactly what all those red pill people and everything else what they say about women. They'll say that women are what do they say? They say they're like they have this word like it's like hypergamy. They go women's whole like in these stupid red pillars minds, right? Women's whole mentality, their whole like life plan and everything is based on this thing of hypergamy, where they need to like get a man who's like got more money and power than them or something, right? And the other thing they'll always say that the women are like monkey branching up. So they'll be with you if you have more money and power than them, they'll be with you until they find somebody who's got more money and power than you, and then they'll try to get onto him. It's just like that's just how women are. And she's saying that about men now. That's what she's saying about men. It's just so next level dumb. I can't even believe it. Anyway.
Become a doctor, become a lawyer, all that stuff, etc. He is not planning on keeping you around. He may not even himself know this yet. But what he's going to realize when he gets into that new space and he gets around people that use big words and people that have more status than him, he's going to start realigning himself in this new hierarchy. Because maybe in this small town that you lived in or the small community that you were part of, he was probably a big fish in a little pond, and so were you. So he picked you because he viewed you as on his level. Now that he is sort of upgrading, he's going to realize that he views love.
So look how she like tries to like psychologize this whole, like she's trying to like, she thinks like she knows this guy's whole mentality or something, you know? Maybe he met this girl and he liked her. Yeah, they were living in a small town. Yeah, there's not that many hot women or whatever. And then he moved to a big city and he was like a handsome doctor, and so there's all these gorgeous women throwing themselves at him. And so he broke up with her. That's what happens. That happens to lots of people who don't have the Bible, or they don't believe in Jesus, or they don't, follow the commandments or whatever. Anyway, my point is that you can't just like assume, you can't just like, she doesn't even know this guy. She doesn't know anything about him. She just heard some stupid TikTok thing. She's trying to analyze this guy's whole life. Anyway, this is dumb too. I'm gonna change it. This is utterly dumb.
Okay. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 Studying the Bible with Mike and Pat. These other YouTubers are just so trash. Hit the thumbs up if you wanna support. Go follow Mike as he follows the Lord. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 You better watch out, Mike's calling out the shills. If you're not free grace, you need to sit down and chill. We're not hyper grace, you know we keep it real. Eternally secure, you know that we're sealed. We don't back low, we're not workspace heretics. Mike's not in it for the money, trying to get a lick. They out here selling their souls for a couple clicks. Becoming Freemasons so they can't just get rich. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 Shout out to Mike and Pat. Check out his channel, Toronto Bible Study. Subscribe and like.